chats about hats with
Yeah.
two lads in hats.
Yeah. Where did you get your hat?
I actually bought it off the internet.
My dad found mine on the bus.
That's a better story.
Yeah, it is.
On the bus?
Yeah, Dublin bus.
Dublin
yeah,
bus.
Yeah, yeah. It's my ambient hat.
It's your ambient
And that one
hat.
up there is my hard shell one, just in case the ambient music gets a little bit too serious.
It's very dangerous to operate ambient music, I hear.
Oh yeah,
so,
very dangerous.
So yeah, I mean, it was obviously the first time operating ambient music in a live setting for a while.
Yeah, it was. I don't gig that often. It's usually just through Emmet and Homebeat that I do get gigs. The scene at the moment in Ireland's kind of breaking through the water, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing ambient musicians rocking about at the moment. So, yeah, the hope is now that when eventually things open up, that we can kind of find a place that we can put on monthly gigs and stuff like that,
Right, yeah.
and kind of just nurture the scene a little bit more.
So do you feel like it's going into more of an improvisational kind of tone with what you're doing? And
I think it's important. That's an important part of it, to kind of get the sense of a community together and people just throwing ideas around. Like even today, just jamming with Cayman Gilmore on double bass. I think that's a really important aspect of it, and just to get people bouncing ideas off one another, and to have that all happening in one specific place would be amazing, you know. Just collaborating constantly and trying to help each other out, kind of with tours and stuff like that. If like even Paddy Mulcahy down in Limerick, you know,
Yeah.
I know if I ever go down to Limerick, he'd be able to sort me out a gig, and vice versa when he comes up to Dublin, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of improv side of things is really important. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. And what about another love story for you? I know you said this is the first place you ever played?
I did my first solo set here in 2017 BC, and it was interesting coming. My mum took me that time as well.
Yeah.
Still haven't got the driver's license,
Ah.
but I need to with all the gear I have.
You're well able to operate these things.
Yeah, absolutely. But so I played my first set here, and it was interesting coming back 4 years on, and kind of definitely feeling a lot more comfortable with how I perform live. And I kind of went through this mad period of wanting to seem like technically proficient at my instruments with ambient music, which doesn't, it shouldn't be really a concern of mine at all. It's more just kind of sound design. So I felt a lot more comfortable in myself this time around, which was great.
Okay, so what is your like layout? What's your setup now?
At the moment, for this set, I used a Tascam Porta Studio. So you have you cut up a little bit of tape to say 20-25 seconds, and you tape it together, put it back in the cassette, and it's just an interesting way to write music. I was inspired by Ross Cheney, who plays with John Francis Flynn. He uses a lot of tape loops on their stuff when they're jamming, and I was down in Colonies of Leap with Ross and Miles O'Reilly. We were doing a set there together, and that's when I saw Ross playing with the tape loop. So I kind of promptly got a Tascam and started messing around with that. So I'm using that, and then a kind of more modern version of that with the Electron Digitact, as just to kind of bring it a little bit further in terms of sound, you know.
Yeah, it's very tactile what you're doing as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because even though there's not, like, you are playing the faders and the EQ, and it's a very interesting way to approach a live performance, especially for me, because I gig so much playing the violin, you know. So to kind of change that mindset is really interesting, to sit back and go, okay, I'm not trying to prove that I'm a great musician here. I'm trying to just design an atmosphere for people to enjoy, especially at a festival on a Sunday.
Yeah. It's a very calming, very nice experience to have at a festival like another Love
Yeah,
Story.
I was laughing because usually I come here on a Sunday and everyone's desperately hungover, you know. So yeah, it was interesting coming and seeing everyone just being very bright in the face and not naldy. A few heads around us have been here since a few days working.
But you know, it is a different experience this year, and it does change how people perceive and how they react to the music as well.
Big time, yeah. I'm just so happy that it happened. Like Emmett and the whole team, I'm just so thankful to get down here this year, and just especially coming to the end of the summer now, it's just nice to have this to kind of launch myself into the autumn and the winter now, you know.
Okay,
so set under the belt.
Yeah. So speaking of launching, what are you looking at doing in the next while?
Yeah, I've been flat out writing the past year and a half. So I have an album coming out next year with Francis Harris. He's in New York. He has a label based in New York. That's a kind of an Irish a traditional ambient album. I'm working up with Connor Campbell. He's done 3 amazing paintings for it. Then I have a tape loop album that's coming out as well, and a few other bits and bobs. No real gigs. I have session work playing with David Keenan, and well, hopefully we'll have to see. And then playing with the Bell X1 lads as well. So session works wise, that's where it's going. But my own stuff, just main concern is just to kind of nurture the community, find a space, and kind of start putting on monthly gigs so people can kind of come out of the shadows with their synthesizers and find a home for themselves. And I would have no interest in starting a label, because the stress of that, but kind of getting a community growing across on the island would be fantastic with the ambient music.
That's a great idea,
yeah.
I think it's something we're pursuing for sure.
Big time. I even came up with an Irish word for, me and my friend came up with an Irish word for ambient music. It's umkill. So, you know, you would say like trinona, like I'll meet you in and around the afternoon. So comes from that, kill, but also the phonetic quality of as a drone.
Nice.
So yeah, just that's how I've been busying myself.
Nailed it. Okay, well Gareth, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day.
Thanks very much. No, yeah,
thanks for playing.
Yeah, Sama drone. Oh, ordnance survey.
Ordnance survey on next, and we're going to check him out now. So.
Super.